Share. Alrighty. So today we are going to be looking at the Woodcock Reading Mastery Test, the third edition. This is a picture of the assessment. At the top, you have your name, grade, school, sex, examiner, and the age and the grade. Later on, we're going to get into the wide range of how big this test is or this assessment is. So the target population for the Woodcock assessment test is the target audience for the population taking this test is anywhere from 4 years and 6 months to 79 years and 11 months. That's pretty big in my eyes. The purpose of this test, the test is to help evaluate people struggling with reading. The test measures the reading performance with the items that are administrated and scored through standardized procedures. The test is then compared to the performance of others the same age or grade level as the person who took the test. So when you're taking this assessment, anyone from the years of 4 years and 6 months, they're going to be compared to people the same age. You're not going to be comparing them to 79-year-old taking this test, but the target of this test is to be taking it. There's going to be 2 forms, and you're going to be comparing them to other students or other examinees that take it with the same age. The subtest and or content areas addressed. So there is 9 addressed in the Woodcock assessment. First one being letter identification. This is when you're giving a test, you're giving a question in alphabet. They want the children to be looking at the alphabet, saying the alphabet, but when they're doing it, the alphabet is in different shapes. So it could be in cursive, it could be uppercase, lowercase. Several different fonts are going to be used when looking at letter identification. The next one would be phonological awareness. This is when you're naming 2 to 3 items in a picture on the bottom of the book and then asking the person to name or point to the item that has the same first sound as the main picture. So let's say that you have a picture of a cat. You want the examinee to be looking at the picture of the cat, and you're going to have something else in their words, and you want them to say the same first sound as what it would be. So let's say you have a picture of a cat, you have 2 words, hat and sat, and then you have a word rhyme. You're gonna want your person taking the assessment taking the 2 words that rhyme with cat. The next one would be rapid automatic naming. This is 2 sections, 2 tasks. One section is the object and coloring and naming and numbers, and the second task is numbers and letter naming. The third subtest is word identification. This is reading words with increased difficulty. So you're just giving students, depending on their age level, higher words that they may not know. You're going to want them to be sounding them out, blending out the words. They're not going to know them. They shouldn't know them, so that's why you want to test it. The next one would be word attack. This is recording nonsense words of increased difficulty, testing the ability to apply phonological instructional analysis skills to unknown words. Same thing, you're going to want them, they should be blending the words to make the sounds go, but that's why we're doing this assessment. The next one, listening comprehension. You're listening to each passage and answering questions about the content. Let's say you're giving them a passage on Charlotte's Web, and there's questions on Charlotte. Who is Charlotte in the book? What kind of animal is Charlotte in the story of Charlotte's Web? Who does Charlotte talk to in the book or in the passage Charlotte's Web, that kind of things. The next one, word comprehension. For this one is reading a stimulus word and then giving a synonym. So let's say our stimulus word is motivation. You would then have the examinee tell you what a synonym for examination for motivation. What would the synonym be for motivation? Your next one then would be passage comprehension. This is the ability to study a sentence or short passage and exercise a variety of comprehension and vocabulary skill in identifying a missing word. And then the last part of the subtest for the Woodcock assessment would be the oral reading fluency. This requires the examinee to read 1 or 2 passages ranging in length from around 80 words for a first grader to 200 words for an adult. So the reliability and validity statistics, the internal consistency reliability, the total reading cluster reliability mean was 0.97. The mode of the other means in the cluster was 0.93. The mean estimates for test scores range from 0.83 to 0.95. The alternative form reliability scores range from 0.84 to 0.94. For cluster scores is 0.62 to 0.93 for test scores. The retest reliability correct correlations between scores range from 0.83 to 0.93 for cluster scores and 0.51 to 0.95 for test scores. Format of the test and administration. This is available in 2 parallel forms, Form A and Form B. The Woodcock Mastery test is made up of 9 tests, that would be the 9 subtests that we just went over. Depending upon the examinee, the entire Woodcock assessment battery should be taken between 15 and 45 minutes to administer, and depending on the examinee's grade or age. Majority of items are administered with the stimulus book. So 2 strengths and 2 limitations of this assessment. My first strength I believe is that it reaches all age ranges, and in today's day and world, and with how much this type of assessment could be used, I think that could be very good. But with also saying that, one of the limitations I put was it is such a big age range that it could be difficult with the scores and the clusters. It could really throw it all off. The second strength is when testing the reading aspect. I think the assessment does a great job of hitting many different aspects of reading, with the reading comprehension, with the oral reading fluency, with the word attacks, the word identification, especially in different classrooms now. Like, I personally have seen it happen a lot with how word attack and I think word identification has really played an influence in it, because just having them blend out those words that they don't know yet, and having them blend out the sounds and trying to figure it out later on can be really helpful for them, because they have heard the word already. But so my first limitation then was the scoring aspect of the assessment is very complex. So that was my first limitation, but I already went over the second one. So that is, here I put my research used. I have a lot of spelling errors. I'm just realizing this. But that is the Woodcock Reading Mastery Test 3rd edition. Thanks, guys.